My wife gave up on our daughter, and I don't know how to make it work again.
Don't give up on your wife.
My 27 male family is broken, and I'm trying to reassemble the pieces. I need advice. For context, my wife, 29 female, are childhood sweethearts, married now for around 5 years. I know we became parents and got married pretty young, but we've made it work. By the way, this comes from Throwaway Rad Love Fool. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, my wife's a small business owner. She turned a passion into a career. I'm really happy for her. When she started, I promised her that since my work hours were flexible, I'd hold things down at home so she could focus on building her business. We were a team until we weren't. My wife's an extreme workaholic, and it's come between our family. We are not in a good place. Our daughter, 10 female, her caregiving is solely on me. The time my wife and daughter spend together is made up mostly of short replies or silence. Our daughter isn't disrespectful. She's a good kid. She's just not as comfortable with her mom. My wife and I have had a lot of talks about the state of our family. With the business well off the ground and her not needing to personally oversee everything as often, we're working on reconnecting. It's been an uphill battle. Recently, we had a bad fight. She's told me she's given up on trying with our daughter.
Your 10-year-old daughter?
What? She said she's not good at it and she's just going to stay in her lane.
Your lane is mother.
I told her that she couldn't decide to clock out on our daughter during rocky stints. She said that she's emotionally exhausted from repeatedly striking out. She feels like she can't do anything right in our daughter's eyes. She said I have it easy, that our daughter prefers me, and even made sure that her whole class knew it. The class jab was about a school assignment. Our daughter had to interview someone she admired, and she asked me. My wife was hurt. She still feels a way about it. She accused me of not understanding. She comes home to a child that she carried, not respecting her. That our daughter is an expert critic when it comes to her. She went into a huge rant. The way she talked about her rubbed me the wrong way. I told her most of the complaints weren't our daughter's creation. She asked me what I meant, and I laid it out that she hasn't gone out of her way to connect with our daughter, and she shut me down. She went into how she busts her butt for our family, and the least I could do is show up for her. All I do is show up for her, including holding down responsibilities that we are supposed to share. We aren't childless. It's no longer those me and her against the world days. I need to show up for our daughter too. She just kept saying that she has a lot on her plate and how I'm supposed to be her piece. I refuted the only piece that ever seemed to matter these days was hers. She said that our daughter and I are two of a kind and began sarcastically apologizing for her sacrifices. And if the business is what's driving us apart, then she'll renounce it. She'll make do. I asked if we could skip her martyr routine and actually talk. But the fight only escalated. I called the fight a complete waste of time, but she interpreted that as me calling her a waste of time. It was the worst fight we had in a while. Our daughter was at her grandparents', so she didn't hear anything. Yeah, that's good. We're at an impasse. Things are still tense. I don't know how to clear the air or how to reach her about our daughter. She can't dismiss her like some disgruntled customer at work. In a lot of ways, I feel like a single parent. I don't believe she's being honest with herself about our issues. She's a distant figure who has a habit of talking at our daughter instead of to her. There are a lot of broken promises, nothing ever mended. She doesn't try engaging. Our daughter loves anime, but my wife doesn't hold back on overly criticizing it in front of her.
Goodness.
Our daughter got into K-pop, but to my wife, it's just some bothersome noise around the house or in the car. Our daughter has stage fright, yet she joined a school play because she knows her mom loves theater. Oh. My wife promised her that she would come, and she didn't. That literally, my heart just sank reading that.
My parents, I think maybe my mom or dad missed like one play each.
Yeah.
And that was because of like extenuating circumstances.
Yeah.
Otherwise, have never missed any of my shows.
Me too.
I can't like.
That's cool.
Doing?
That's really nice, guys.
There was like
I'm so happy for you guys.
Was there a show that you were in, Keon?
Yeah. My mom never came to my baseball games.
Oh.
That sucked.
Okay.
I won it.
Wow.
Oh.
And the lady's like, we're going to take a picture of the yearbook. And they're like, where are your parents? They didn't come.
Stop.
That hurts me so much.
I'm just like looking at this mom and she's like, well, my kid doesn't even like me. It's like, you're not there.
Yeah.
And it's so obvious to me that she's not putting in effort as a parent just by the fact that her immediate reaction is, I'm hands off now. well, I'm not going to put an effort.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you probably weren't putting effort in before if
Yeah.
that's your immediate reaction.
Exactly. So the worst part was seeing our daughter realize that she wasn't there. My wife never apologized. She gave her "work was busy, I promise
Whoa.
next time" speech. She offered to bring our daughter with her on Take Your Kids Work Day. I thought it would be good for them and a chance for our daughter to see more of what her mom does. But our daughter called me upset and wanted me to pick her up. She said her mom had immediately left her with a subordinate and went AWOL. When my wife checked in on her, they fought. She told our daughter that a bratty attitude won't be tolerated in her workplace. She and I had it out later. She apologized to our daughter and blamed blowing up on work frustration. She offered to bring her back another day, but our daughter refused. My wife always felt that she was bad at articulating her feelings. She feels she comes off aggressive. That's partly why she leaves our daughter's caretaking to me. But this fight has me questioning the nature of our relationship. I don't doubt that she loves our daughter. I saw it firsthand during the pregnancy, and in our private conversations, she couldn't stop gushing about her. I felt her love in the little things. I don't know, something changed over time. My wife isn't close with her parents. She usually has me talk with them on her behalf. She has a mindset that parents and kids don't have to be close.
Ooh.
She believes that since she turned out fine, so will our daughter.
And so that makes sense.
That
She
makes
didn't
sense.
have that type of relationship with her parents, and
Yeah.
it's like, oh well, it's totally normal for your
Yeah.
mom to not come to your shows and to not come
Right.
to any of your events. So I don't have to come to my kids.
I'm failing to help their relationship and our own. We barely have quality time. Intimacy is shot. When we're out together, we aren't really together because in public, she's hyper aware and has her business persona on. I don't know what else to do. I'm at a loss. I'm not trying to bash my wife. I just want everyone to be okay. I'm in a fight for my family right now. How do I mend my wife's and daughter's relationship while also repairing my marriage? And there are some comments, but I want to hear your comments, Sophia.
Well, I think you have that conversation with your wife, your daughter not being there.
Mm.
Maybe see if you can get her into like therapy with you.
Yeah.
Do some
I was
marriage
thinking that too.
counseling.
Marriage counseling.
Because you guys are not on the same page on how you want to raise your daughter.
Yeah.
And that's the issue here. Which, like, preferably you would have talked about that before you had a kid. Seems like you had a kid pretty young.
Yeah.
So it makes sense why you aren't exactly on the same page. So get on the same page.
Yeah.
Because you need to tell her, hey, if you want our daughter to have a relationship with you, to
Yeah.
like you in the way that she likes me, you have to put in effort. And
Yeah,
I know
there's
you're
something you
putting in
can do.
effort for the family.
And I would hope that like they can put in a lot of effort for the marriage, because then like if they just separate, the dad is obviously going to have
Yeah.
like more custody
He'll just be
over the daughter.
Solo parent, which is
Yeah.
already what he is.
So it'll just make their relationship even worse. So
Yeah.
hopefully they really can work together and maybe just do family things together. I
Mhm.
mean, I don't know how much of that they're doing, but like it doesn't have to be one-on-one with the mom.
Absolutely.
But there are some comments. No words, just dogs says kids can tell when their parents don't like them. This is on your wife. She can step up and get help or not, but either way, you might want to find someone to talk to your kid about how she feels about her mom. Wikipedia 212 says, one of my very first memories was coming down the stairs and hearing my parents arguing. My mother was screaming and I opened the door worried just as she shouted, I never wanted her. I never loved her. Ouch. They both looked at me and my mother said real quickly, oh, but I love you now. Don't worry.
Oh.
Yikes, man.
Oh.
Dude, that's rough.
Mm.
I was OP's daughter's age when my mother came to me and said, I'm going to leave your father. I need to be selfish and think about me for a change. So she took my brother and left us. She was going to tell me that they were both off on holiday and dad would have had to tell me when they were gone what was really happening, but he made her tell me. And we haven't had a relationship since. Dad passed away in 2015 and she tried, but I don't know you, lady. My parent is passed away. Oh my gosh, this is a crazy side story from one of these
Yeah.
commenters. Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry, commenter.
OP, this is your daughter's future if you don't get everyone therapy stat. Jana Banana 67 says, first comment, your wife did not turn out okay.
Great point.
She
She
yeah,
literally
honestly.
is, bringing, it's like a generational trauma. Her
Right.
parents didn't, come to any of her stuff or have a relationship with her, so
Right.
she's doing the same with her kid.
Yeah, she is so far from okay, it isn't funny. Second, you cannot fix the relationship between your wife and child. Your wife has chosen to disengage from parenting, and I am sure your daughter feels like her mother doesn't care or even like her. It may take years to repair that relationship, but it will have to be your wife that puts in the hard work and makes the family a priority. I agree with the other comments that you all need family and couples counseling. This is a very fractured, dysfunctional family. You cannot fix this alone. So you have one more comment before an update. Crippled Cryptid says, your first point is what immediately stuck out to me too. The wife claims that she and her parents aren't close, yet she's fine, so therefore the daughter will be too. However, her main complaint is that she's not close with her daughter, how she has a problem with that. So she's either being dense or just isn't being honest with herself when she claims that she genuinely sees no issue with her parents' relationship, but has issues with the same dynamic with her daughter. That's a really good point, honestly.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have put it together in that exact way. But yeah, that makes sense. She's definitely not happy with how their relationship is. No,
she's expressing desire for it, but she doesn't know how to achieve it.
Exactly. And we do have an update. So 16 days later.
Ooh, okay.
Thank you to everyone who reached out. It helped a great deal. My 27 male original post was pretty much the first time I talked about any of this. I wanted to give an update. My wife, 29 female, and I had a serious discussion about everything. It took us a while to get there because things were still tense after our last fight and our mini spats in between. Our daughter noticed the rift between her mom and me. She asked me about it, and I'm not proud of that. I never wanted her involved in our fights. It was a larger wake-up call. I shouldn't have to let it drag out. My wife asked if we could talk, and we both apologized for the fight. She was worried that I was calling it quits after how bad our last fight was. She took us not recovering as quickly as usual in my distance as me being done. She wanted to make a gesture for our marriage. I told her that her harsh action towards our daughter had made me question our relationship. She said that she felt bad for intensely ranting about our daughter. She was overwhelmed and used the situation as the old one-to-wing bag. She loves our daughter, but is at a loss as a parent. I told her that we'd all keep being at a loss in our current state. We're disconnected as a couple and a family. I feel like a single parent and alone in our marriage. Our current way isn't working. Her lack of presence is the common root cause. I didn't feel like our daughter or I actually mattered and were more put up with by her. That statement really bothered her. She denied it and promised our family does matter to her. She said that she knows things aren't good right now, but she wants our family. She gets frustrated and says stuff that she doesn't mean, but it doesn't equate to how she actually feels. I told her that it's not just her words, it's her actions. Her harshness and how she chooses everything over our family every single time while expecting us to just have smiles on our faces. We're not props, and I can't enforce a relationship between her and our daughter. She said that she has trouble with contentment and it's an endless chase. She has this need to keep chasing after an inner feeling that she's always felt that she missed. We talked about the feeling before. It's a high and feeling whole. Interesting. She said that she thought our relationship was the answer. She thought our daughter was the answer. And then she thought her business would completely fill that void. She said she doesn't know how to be with our daughter. When our daughter was a baby, everything was easier. That our daughter would get excited when she came home from work. And no matter what she did or didn't do, she had our daughter's love. But she's older now and barely seems to like being in the same room as her and clings to me. I asked if she's considered that maybe our daughter's hurting from her criticism and broken promises. My wife feels that she's doing better than her parents. Well,
she might be.
Yeah, but if the bar is really low,
it's really low.
It's like you can't still be low, but above that bar.
Yeah, it's like I think, I know parents who have been like, well, I didn't hit the kids, but I worked all the time. And it's like, well,
exactly. It's like, well,
okay, at least they don't fear you.
Right.
Right. But this isn't,
This is really deep.
Is this hitting home?
You?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's fine.
Oh, man.
Look at me. I'm cute.
I'm going to give you a treat. I'm going to buy you a treat.
She said all our daughter knows is the grandpa and grandma who adore her over FaceTime. She doesn't know what they were like. Her childhood was staying in a child's place, doing what was expected of you, representing the family, and attitudes weren't tolerated. There wasn't a problem that they couldn't solve with the belt. My wife said that she doesn't believe in the belt as discipline, but she doesn't know how to be with our daughter and fears that she's aggressive when she's communicating. So she leaves our daughter to me.
Dude, I nailed that one.
Yeah, you really did. She doesn't feel she's good as a mother to an older child or with expressing personal feeling. She said I knew what her parents were like. She's right. My in-laws ran an unforgiving household. My wife was pretty much a latchkey kid.
Okay, it's basically like they come home or they leave and they come home whenever they got their own key and they they take care of themselves at home. And so the parents are gone and they just kind of the keys in the latch or. Basically, they're at home alone. Is the
Yeah.
latchkey kid.
I see.
Yeah.
My father-in-law was always working, and my mother-in-law was busy with her community engagements. Feelings were compared to complaining, and there were certain expectations of my wife. I was 17, and my wife was 19 when we had our daughter. Of course, the criticisms weren't ideal, but my in-laws made you feel their disapproval. There wasn't support to be found from them. They told my wife that if she was grown enough to make a baby, then she was grown enough to take on the responsibilities on her own. My in-laws have mellowed out a lot now, but my wife is no contact with them. She used her business to pay off their house, and that was that. I'm the buffer between them. I'm accustomed to being my wife's protector. That was always our dynamic, especially during the pregnancy when everyone had commentary, were comedians, or when guys would talk about her. Looking back, I think that's part of why I made excuses for her actions with our daughter. I told my wife that I'm in love with her, but our daughter can't be at the expense of our relationship. We're at a crossroads. Something needed to change. Counseling isn't an option anymore. It's happening for our daughter and me. I want for us to come through this as a family. If she refuses counseling, I'd respect her decision, but her answer would give me my answer on what I needed to do for the best of our daughter. We'd have to separate for the time being. My wife said if it's between counseling or losing our family, then she chooses counseling. She wants to keep working on her marriage and reconnecting as a family. We're not props. I asked if this was really what she wanted. If we do this, it can't be her showing up in word only, but looking for any reason to skip out. She said what we built means something to her, and losing that has become more real to her now. I talked with our daughter about her feelings on counseling too. I didn't just want to randomly throw an appointment on her. She was pretty open to the idea. I think it's because she's close with my parents, and she knows that they do counseling. My wife and I are officially in counseling now.
Yay!
Okay, well, look at that.
Great news.
That's
Yeah.
great. We're trying a conjoint therapy approach for right now. It's a new experience for us. Prior to this, my wife was never big on counseling, but she has been showing up. She hasn't flaked. And by the way, you can show up to iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever your favorite podcast app is, and listen to more full episodes of stories just like this one. Just search OK Storytime. Don't skip out on it, okay? Don't
do it.
You gotta be there. And there is a little bit more to the story, but I think this is going a really positive way.
Absolutely. Again, it seems like they were not on the same page about parenting because they were so young.
They're so young. They probably didn't even have a conversation.
No,
first.
everyone, this is kind of what I've always thought of, when I get into the relationship and I'm ready to have a kid, of like have that conversation before you get married, before you
Yes.
are even close to having kids. How do you want to raise your kid? Like if you are religious or not religious, like have all of those questions answered before the kid is even there.
Yeah.
Because these are all important things and you want to make sure that you're on the same page.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we've definitely got a lot of insight on the wife, and she just has personal things that she's dealing with for sure.
Yeah.
But it sounds like she kind of has a good understanding, at least to start with, on what she needs to work on.
Yes.
So I think that's great. Like, it sounded like
smart.
what she was saying was really good things to be aware about and amazing things to bring into therapy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
that's
have
just
really
right.
high hopes for her. I don't think we need to just
No.
stop.
I think if she was wholly unreceptive,
Sure.
but
She's not. Yeah. There's a little bit more to the story. So there has been some improvement with my wife and daughter. My wife has pulled back on criticism and asking our daughter questions. Recently, we went to an amusement park as a family, and they had a good time together on some rides. My wife asked to pair with our daughter on a few games, too. It was the first time in a long time I saw them share a laugh. Aw. I don't know what the future holds, but I want to be hopeful for my family. Maybe it's not too late. I want the best for everyone involved. Our daughter will be starting middle school soon, and I told my wife that she'll need both of us. I'm hoping this road isn't the end of my family. I want us to have to come through this together. When I chose a life with her, it wasn't because we were having a baby, so let's stick together. It was because I love her and want to be with her. I want to make this work. But that is the end of that story. I think that's a great start.
I think you guys are on a perfect path.
See, family things together.
Yeah.
You're laughing together,
No
joking around.
No one knows how to parent. Literally no one
Yeah.
knows how to do it. You think you do. So I've heard. You
Right.
think you do. You go into it and then you realize you have no idea what you're doing.
Yeah.
And you can only learn as you go.
Yeah. And then people say that once you think you figured it out with one kid, you have another one.
You have
and
a
it's
totally
completely
different little person.
Yeah.
My husband hates our open marriage now that I'm enjoying it.
Uh-oh. Became a little too fun.
I, 35 female, am in an open relationship with my husband, 36 male. It was over the summer he mentioned it to me. I wouldn't say I was totally for it, but it took some getting used to. Now everything is going great, but recently my husband keeps changing the rules. By the way, this comes from Princess Protect, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, once I started dating Evan, 45 male, that's when he started acting differently.
Uh-oh.
My husband and I agreed on a don't ask, don't tell policy. Little military thing here. But keeps pestering me about the details of our relationship. I give him a little here and there, but never the explicit stuff. Everything positive I mention about Evan, he downplays or critiques. Last week, I planned a date with Evan and asked him to watch the kids. He agreed. He was to get back home by 9, but texted me to say he's doing overtime that night. I was left scrambling for a sitter at the last minute. This isn't the first time he has done this. Luckily, this time I got a hold of a sitter, but I could not stay as long as I was hoping for. Afterward, he acted as if everything was okay. He began policing me when I left the house and began picking my outfits apart, expressing concern about how the neighbors would perceive me. To avoid conflict, I started wearing jackets to cover up before heading out. Then came the issue of Evan dropping me off. He worried about the neighbors seeing a strange car pull up at night. This forced me to do lunch dates. It wasn't a bother. I would bring my laptop to Evan's and work at his place. However, I preferred the dinner dates because I got a chance to dress up more. Changing up the time seemed to alleviate some tension, but I still feel like I was compromising too much. He didn't even want me to drive to the dates, but when Evan pays for an Uber or drops me off, it's an issue? It makes no sense. The breaking point was when Evan sent flowers to the house. My husband lost it, claiming it's dangerous for a strange man to know our address when we have kids inside. I will say he was right about this. I did drop the ball, however. He insisted that I shouldn't bring home any gifts at all going forward, arguing it violated our don't ask, don't tell rule. Well, maybe you shouldn't ask about where the flowers came from.
There you go.
There you go.
Don't ask, I won't tell.
He used to joke about me not getting chivalry in my open relationship, and now that I'm getting dates, it's a big deal? I asked him if he doesn't take the women he sleeps with on dates, and he says no, it's strictly spicy sleep and none of that lovey-dovey BS that I'm doing. I confronted my husband about these rules and he just brushed it off like it was nothing, saying it's just a respect thing. I was really enjoying this, but he's sucking the fun out of it and it just feels highly stressful. And there are some comments, but what do you think?
If this is one of the boundaries that are just kind of like set in an open relationship of like, you know, no feelings involved, as long as like mostly just physical, then like I could understand that. But at the same time, it kind of feels like it's like, I don't know, he's getting too mad if they didn't set those boundaries already.
Personally, I think that you guys are not cut out for open relationships. I think he's getting jealous. I think that you want to do all these dates, which is totally fair because you guys had made certain rules. But now he's getting jealous. And if you want to keep this relationship, then you need to come together and say, oh, maybe this isn't working.
Yeah.
We're not able to do this without jealousy and feelings getting in the way.
Yeah.
And maybe you can have that conversation and come to a new agreement about the rules.
Yeah.
And what they should be.
Exactly.
Or maybe it's just like, okay, let's close it. Because it's not working.
Yeah, I think before conversation, like he shouldn't get mad yet.
No.
Because it's still within the rules that they already set.
Yeah. And if you need to change the rules, you need to change the rules.
Yeah,
it kind of sucks. And it seems like he is changing them or, you know, moving the goalpost here. But if you want to keep your marriage, you guys have to figure it out.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is. Comments. My wheat chicken says, your husband wanted to have a wife and to still sleep with whoever he liked. He didn't want that for you. Come on now, surely you realize that. To me, it seems like husband wanted NSA, spicy sleep with people other than his wife without any of the emotions that come with either an additional girlfriend or hurting his wife. However, wife found someone who also respects and appreciates her and isn't using her like a whole, like how husband is doing his part of the open relationship.
It's an aggressive way to put that.
So I think this is extra incensing for him. He's emotionally removing himself just to get extra kitty. She found someone who will put up with the weird rules and treat her well. It's not just the spicy sleep, it's that she's getting treated well. My witchkin says, yeah, not everyone can enjoy spicy sleep with random one-night strangers. Clearly that's not her bag and he should have known that. Or maybe he did and that's why he thought it would all fall into place nicely for him. Maybe he thought he could have it all while she was at home not sleeping with anyone else. Dapper Danimal says, not the a-hole. Question, does your husband actually hook up with other other women? Reading between the lines, I wouldn't be surprised if things weren't working out for him. If this is going to work, you can't just agree, don't ask, don't tell, and call it a day. Rules have to be in place. If you only want spicy related relationships outside of the marriage without emotional intimacy, that's a fine rule if you agree to it. It's also fine to change the rules after they've been established, but that should be based on a conversation where everyone is on the same page. I agree with that.
Yeah,
me too. Like, you guys might realize that you actually are not okay with something, or you are okay with something. And you don't know until you've done it.
Exactly.
So, but you need to communicate. He shouldn't be able to change or establish the rules on his own and get mad that you haven't been following them. OP says, I think he does. He dresses up on the weekend to go out and comes in late. We both agreed to emotional intimacy, ONS, casual. It's just the nitpicking that's too much. I don't mind having a discussion, but when I'm met with, it's not that serious, that's when I get pissed. Corpuscular Oscillate says, you need to see this for what it is. He opened the marriage without understanding that it meant you would be going on dates too. He never wanted the rules to be fair, so starting from the premise is only going to get him subverting any discussions. He just thought about all the fun he would be having. Now he's treating you like crap because he can't stand that what is good for the gander is good for the goose. You need to bottom line it for him. Open marriages are not easy to maintain. Most couples can't handle it. The only way to handle it is to set clear rules and follow them. One thing I will say is that your partner needs to be your primary. So if both of you are putting all your efforts into getting laid outside of the relationship, you'll trash the marriage. You need regular date nights and check-ins, etc. It also takes a lot of trust and respect for your partner. In other words, you need to put in work into your marriage to make it work, open or closed. There's plenty of literature out there on how to make this work if you really want it to. But it is work. Opening a marriage isn't a quick release valve to save a marriage for people who aren't good and communicating and take their spouse for granted. And there is an update. You have any other thoughts?
I think those comments said it very well.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's just like communication is important. It is hard. And obviously this is, we're running into one of the reasons why it's so hard. It's like, oh, wait a second. Maybe I have different feelings than I thought I did about this whole situation.
Absolutely. And she went into it being like, I don't know. And it seems like he kind of pushed her to.
Yeah.
And then she realized, oh, yeah, this is actually, I like this.
Yeah.
But I feared that might be because she likes who she's like going on dates with rather than the actual experience of being in an open relationship.
I was wondering that. I was like wondering if her husband takes her out on dates and does those nice things.
Yeah, because he said like, oh, none of that romantic BS. So I'm like, does he not do that for you either?
Right. Like that's probably why she likes, like you said, like it's probably why she likes that so much.
Yeah. You guys were right. This was a crap show.
Oh no.
I'm not sure where to start, but we are getting a divorce.
Oof.
Yoicks.
Wow.
That's not good. He in fact did not change and became way more possessive and controlling while changing the rules. Everything I did was either wrong or inconsiderate. Evan had planned a weekend trip to Cabo to celebrate a new business venture. I asked my husband if he was okay with it weeks in advance. He enthusiastically agreed, mentioning, I deserve the trip. He even told me to make sure I flood his phone with pics. I told him I was going to stay with Evan the night before for easier commute. He insisted on taking me to the airport instead, since it was our last night until Tuesday. However, when it was time to leave, he overslept. Despite urging him to get up to the point that I pulled the covers off and turned off the air, he spent an hour in the bathroom. Then to make matters worse, he didn't fill the tank. I told him the evening before.
Oh my gosh.
I called an Uber, which was another hour late. Jeez.
Oh my
How
gosh.
is your Uber an hour late?
How are you not missing your flight?
Where do you live?
Yeah.
But luckily I got to enjoy my trip. Wow. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, it seems like you really, planned ahead. I let it slide and moved on. Boy, oh boy, I wish I never went on that trip because things got worse. It's like I was being punished for the trip. He became incredibly invasive in my personal relationships. He wanted to know what my spicy sleep life with Evan was like, if he was better, etc. He used to play it off like it wasn't a big deal to him. Then I caught him snooping through my phone. It was too much. I didn't understand because Evan was no longer the only man I was seeing. But Evan triggered him the most. By the way, you can see us and only us if you listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit left to this story.
Yes, it
Do
is.
any final thoughts?
I'm definitely not surprised.
No.
Yeah, I did get the feeling from the start when he was moving the goalpost already.
Yeah.
It's like, this feels so, like, not even like he's just offended and he's just jealous. Like, it feels controlling. It feels like
Absolutely.
there's probably, you know, a double standard to all this. And
100%.
there it is.
And
There
there's
is.
that double standard.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it also just felt like OP was realizing that she had better relationships with these people that she was going on dates with, specifically Evan.
Yeah.
She was like, oh, this guy actually cares about me and like wants to romance me. And my
Right.
husband just wants to hook up with other women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, hopefully things work out with Evan.
I hope so. Seems like he wants to be with you. If that wasn't enough, he had his friends over for boys' night. I was getting ready for girls' night. Before I left, he said out loud, "You're really gonna leave me to go F him?" in front of his friends. What about that don't ask, don't tell policy? I'm just gonna tell all of your friends?
Yeah, and why are you so concerned about what the neighbors think with all
Yeah.
the cars driving out and what
Yeah.
you're wearing?
The embarrassment and humiliation I felt even typing this. I just sat in my car and cried so much, and that's when I knew it was done. He apologized, mentioned he was wasted. I don't buy it one bit. He has never acted like this. This open relationship has left me drained mentally and emotionally, and it wasn't even my idea to begin with. I have filed for divorce, but he keeps begging for reconciliation, but I can't. Before anyone comments, I know you told me so. A can this it a both 8524 says he didn't want an open marriage. He wanted your permission to sleep with others while you were not allowed the same. Not the a-hole then or now. Enjoy yourself. Christine MFM 84 says this, not the a-hole. OP, if he ever says anything in front of people again, call him out and say he was the one who wanted the open relationship. Your husband wanted to sleep around and didn't realize you'd be having fun too. A can this it a both says, I also wonder if it's not working out for him as much as he hoped it would. Christine MFM says, yeah, he probably slept with whoever he wanted to sleep with, and it wasn't as great as he thought, and he isn't getting as many girls as he thought he would. Boo Boo says, isn't that how these stories usually go? Husband demands open marriage so he can screw around, discovers that he's not that attractive, and women aren't lining up to be with them while their wives are picking up guys right and left. Then demands their wives stop meeting others, and the wives, meanwhile, have found there are much better men out there than the a-holes they married and file for divorce. But that is the end of that story.